Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
We have new information on COVID-19 in the region. The death toll from the virus in Minnesota is nearing 600. In total, 591 people have died with the virus, 472 of them living in a nursing home or assisted living facility. The total COVID-19 count is now at 11,799, an increase of 528 from the day before. 452 people are in the hospital, with 194 of them in the ICU. 7,536 people are listed as recovered. In North Dakota, that state saw another increase in their total case number, as well as a new death from the virus. The victim, a man in his 90s from Cass County. That brings the death toll now up to 36. The patient is reported to have had underlying health conditions. The state also reported another 27 confirmed cases of COVID-19. There are now over 1,500 total cases in North Dakota, while 846 patients have recovered. Another major event is canceled for the summer. The North Dakota State Fair in Minot isn't happening. Officials say those who have bought tickets with credit cards will be refunded. The fair was scheduled for July 17th to the 25th. Taking that live look outside on this Monday afternoon, blue skies, sunny, but I'm not so cheery when I actually step outside. It's pretty cold for this time of the year. To see what we can expect in our forecast, let's head on over to First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Lisa Green.
Yes, cold, but we're actually a lot warmer than we started off this morning in spots. This morning, we had temperatures down into the teens. In fact, one town in North Dakota out west had the coldest temperature across the country. The Taylor area, 14 degrees there this morning. So we've been working our way out of some teens. Langdon got down to 19. Now we're 20 degrees warmer at 39. It's 40 in Grand Forks, 42 in Fargo, and 40s in Lakes Country. So working our way up here, but it is, yes, much cooler than average right now. We do have a little wind. We've been watching that wind continue in out of the north or northwest. We've had some gusts this morning and now this afternoon, getting into the 20s at times, and so a little bit brisk, and that northerly wind just keeps reinforcing that cooler air we've had in place. It's been nice and quiet and clear, as Jordan showed us, and we are going to continue to see this beautiful blue sky throughout the rest of the day and into this evening. Expect to have temperatures rising a few more degrees into the 40s for everyone, some of us approaching 50, but that's it. And given our average high is in the upper 60s, we're running pretty low. So we'll let you know when we'll finally start to return to some milder temperatures coming up in your extended planner.
Looking forward to the heat. Thank you, Lisa. New at noon, authorities in Minnesota are investigating a fire that damaged a mosque in Minneapolis. The fire at the Tawfik Mosque was contained and mainly caused damage to the entryway. The fire battalion chief did say the crews found a broken window when they arrived. Now stay with us here at Valley News Live as we learn more on this case. The motorcyclist who crashed into a roundabout in West Fargo and was charged with DUI has now died from his injuries. He's identified as 30-year-old Andrew Laborico of Fargo. Troopers say that he missed a curve at a roundabout at Cheyenne Street and 52nd Avenue South a week ago on Sunday. They say he was thrown off his motorcycle and hit a retaining wall. Drivers in Moorhead can expect delays thanks to some overnight ramp closures starting tonight. At 9 o'clock, crews will close the eastbound lane of the I-94 ramp to 20th Street. The road will reopen around 5 the next morning, and this process will go on until Thursday, May 14th. This project will be for maintenance on the roadway, including patching and crack sealing. The work is being done overnight to help minimize traffic impacts in that area. The FDA has approved the use of a new type of test to detect the coronavirus with results within minutes. The agency issued the emergency use authorization for the antigen test over the weekend. The test is able to rapidly detect fragments in virus proteins in samples collected from nasal swabs. Current diagnostic tests look for the genetic material of the virus, and they can take hours for a result. Neither the president nor the vice president are self-isolating, despite each coming into contact with at least one person who has tested positive for COVID-19. Several members of the coronavirus task force are taking steps to keep themselves and others safe in accordance with CDC guidelines. Weijia Zhang is at the White House with more.
At least 2 West Wing staffers have tested positive for the virus, including the Vice President's press secretary, Katie Miller, whose husband is Stephen Miller, one of President Trump's closest advisors. 3 members of the coronavirus task force are taking new protective measures, since Miller is also in charge of communications for the group and was often in close contact. Dr. Anthony Fauci, CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield, and FDA Commissioner Stephen Hahn have gone into quarantine. But neither the president nor the vice president are self-isolating. The White House says the leaders are considered essential workers and are both being tested daily. And while Mr. Trump focuses on reopening the country,
that's the slogan we're going to use, transition to greatness. And it's starting right now.
Even his economic policy advisor, Kevin Hassett, was frank about the risks of working at the White House on Face the Nation.
It is scary to go to work. You know, I was not part of the White House in March. I think that I'd be a lot safer if I was sitting at home than I would be going to the West Wing. But, you know, it's a time when people have to step up and serve their country.
The unemployment rate reached 14.7% last month, and Hassett predicts it will surpass 20% this month or in June. While President Trump continues to praise the federal response to the pandemic, his predecessor, former President Barack Obama, offered a rare rebuke. In leaked audio of a call with 3,000 former campaign and administration staffers aimed at shoring up support for former Vice President Joe Biden, Mr. Obama said this.
The response to this global crisis has been so anemic and spotty, and it would have been bad even with the best of governments. It has been an absolute chaotic disaster.
This afternoon, President Donald Trump will hold a formal briefing in the Rose Garden focused on coronavirus testing for the first time in nearly 2 weeks. Alarming news when it comes to teens and mental health. More and more are being rushed to hospitals for hurting themselves. A study from Nationwide Children's Hospital showed visits for self-harm rose 300% from 2007 to 2016. Substance abuse went up by more than 150% for the same time. Overall, there was a 60% increase in pediatric visits for all mental health conditions. In our consumer alert this afternoon, a recall on a product that could pose a serious risk of injury or even death to young children. The MagCube magnetic ball set violates the federal standards for children's toys. When 2 or more high-powered magnets are swallowed, they can link together inside a child's intestines and cause intestinal obstructions, perforations, sepsis, and even death. Roughly 600 units were sold, but no injuries have yet been reported. A section of Disney World is set to reopen next week. The shopping district known as Disney Springs on the Florida campus is slated to reopen May 20th. A limited number of shopping and dining locations owned by third-party operators will start to open during the initial phase. There will be increased cleaning procedures, face masks for cast members and guests, limited contact guest services, and additional safety training for cast members. The rest of the Disney World Resort will remain closed. Coming up here at noon, economies around the world are looking to reopen. We see how countries are weighing safety and economic viability. But next, Lisa Green is in with what you need to know for this cool Monday forecast.